guys, it's time to get back to work. Looking at a time-lapse video here. In a moment we're going to look at a time-lapse of the starter strip shingles being installed. And then here in a moment, let's take a look at the ice and water shield and synthetic underlayment on this roof. So at this point now we're prepared to install the starter strip shingles. In this particular case, on this home we have drip edge being installed. And after the drip edge is installed, now it's time to install the starter strip shingles. You can see us with the starter strip shingle perforated strip separating the two. And so you can install 3-tab shingles. We don't do that. We want to use in this particular case, it's the Owens Corning starter strip, and it's perforated and you divide it into, right now we're installing the starter strip on the gable end at 5 nails per shingle, approximately 2 to 3 inches back from the rake board. We want to do the same thing on the fascia board here in a moment. 5 nails per shingle, 2 to 3 inches back from on the eave. When we're doing that, 2 to 3 inches back from the fascia board. Again, we're splitting that perforated shingle. As you can see up there, it comes in a full shingle and it's perforated and you divide it in half. And we're installing the shingle in this particular case, you can see on the gable end and on the eaves. On all of our roof installs, we're going to install the starter strip shingles around the perimeter. Right here's the eave, again 5 nails per shingle, right above the glue line, right above the asphalt sealant, as close as we can to the fascia board without doing any damage to the fascia board or the decking. So you want to be careful not to install it at the wrong location. So that's important to know where the fascia board is and where the decking begins. You don't want to install the nails right at the location where the decking begins because there's really nothing for it to grab a hold of. Here you go. We're installing again 5 nails per shingle. We're installing it on the starter strip shingles right on the eave. This particular one is the Owens Corning starter strip shingle. You can use this starter strip with any shingle that has a 6-inch exposure. It's perforated for the easy separation. Again, this is it's a 2 parts. So the particular shingle is 16 shingles per bundle, and it's 32 pieces for a total of, I don't know, 105 linear feet approximately. There you go, installing the shingle, the starter shingle on the gable end. Let's take a look at this. Let's slow this down for a second. I want you to see that on the gable end, it's very important to put that starter strip shingle. Also gives you a great straight edge as opposed to not installing it on the end. There are some contractors that don't put the starter strip shingle on the end. We highly recommend that you do that. We do that on all of our jobs. Makes for a nicer end, and then also it glues down the butt edge of the shingle. When you cut it right here, it glues it down tight to the gable end to prevent the wind from blowing these shingles off. We highly recommend that everybody install these shingles on the gable end. You want to use a starter shingle on the rake end of the roof to prevent the shingles from blowing off. And again, it creates a cleaner edge on the gable end. Let's take a look here in a moment after we cut this shingle right here. Let's take a look in the valley. You also, in the valley, you need starter strip shingle installed in the valley for the installation of your field shingles. You must have 2 layers, and that's why you install starter strip shingles on your eaves. You need 2 layers of protection. If you didn't do that, you'd only have 1 layer of protection, and in addition, you would really not have anything for that shingle to glue down to on the eave, and it would flap in the wind and eventually it would blow off. Let's do a quick recap. We highly recommend that every roofer install the starter strip shingles around the perimeter. We do not like to use 3-tap shingles as a starter strip shingle. It's better to use the manufacturer's product. Roofers, you need to install 5 nails per shingle, approximately 2 to 3 inches from the fascia board or the rake board. The final reason you have to have a starter strip shingle below the first course of your filled shingle is if there was no starter strip shingle underneath it there properly installed, where it's not at the butt edge of the filled course shingle. When it's properly installed, it will prevent any moisture or water from entering in between those shingles. Be sure to stagger the joint between the starter shingle and the first shingle. Give yourself approximately 6 inches. That's all we have for today on the starter strip shingle. If you want to learn more about roofing, subscribe to our YouTube channel.